Today, we're diving deep into the latest on XRP coin. Everything from its price movements over the last 24 hours to the hottest news, retail sentiment, and what's happening in the institutional world. Hey guys, welcome back to Whiteboard Crypto Update. In today's video, we will talk about XRP Future. So be sure to stay focused as you surely don't want to miss out on this. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. Please remember, this is not a financial advice video. XRP's been a wild ride, and there's a lot to unpack, so let's get started with the numbers that matter most. First up, the price. As of right now, XRP is trading at around $2.35 per coin. That's a slight dip of about 0.4% over the past 24 hours, according to data from Kraken and other major exchanges. Now, don't let that small drop get you too worked up. This kind of pullback isn't unusual in the crypto market, especially after the explosive moves we've seen recently. XRP's been consolidating after hitting a peak of $241.11 earlier this week, and it's now testing some critical support levels around $230. The question is, are we gearing up for a breakout, or is this a sign of more downside to come? Let's break it down. Looking at the 24-hour price action, XRP's been trading in a tight range between $2.33 and $2.37. Volume has been a bit sluggish, down about 15.9% to 2.67 billion, which suggests traders are sitting on the sidelines, waiting for a catalyst. But here's where it gets interesting. Derivatives volume has spiked by 34% in the last 24 hours, according to CoinGlass data. That's a big jump, hinting that some players, possibly big ones, are positioning themselves for a move. Whether that's bullish or bearish, we'll dig into later, but it's a sign that XRP's not flying under the radar. Now let's talk news, because XRP's ecosystem is buzzing with developments. The biggest headline right now is the CME Group's launch of XRP Futures, which kicked off yesterday with an estimated $1.5 million in debut volume. This is a huge deal for XRP. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange is one of the most respected platforms for institutional investors, and their decision to offer XRP Futures signals growing confidence in Ripple's token among the big players. It's not a spot ETF, let's be clear about that, but it's a massive step toward mainstream adoption. More liquidity, more exposure, and a regulated way for institutions to get in on XRP. That's the kind of thing that can shift the game long term. On the regulatory front, Ripple's ongoing saga with the SEC is still making waves. The latest update is that the SEC has extended its review period for the 21 shares XRP ETF application, which has some investors feeling a bit frustrated. This delay isn't unexpected. Regulatory bodies move at their own pace, but it's worth noting that Ripple recently reached a $50 million settlement in its long-running lawsuit with the SEC. While this was a milestone, the market's reaction has been muted, likely because much of the positive news was already priced in. Still, Ripple's CEO Brad Garlinhouse has been vocal about his optimism, stating that a final resolution could be on the horizon, though the timeline depends on the courts. That's something to keep an eye on, as clarity on the legal front could be a major catalyst for XRP's price. Shifting gears to retail sentiment, let's see what the XRP community is saying on social media. Over on X, the mood is a mixed bag. Some posts are buzzing with excitement about the CME Futures launch, with users pointing to it as a sign of institutional demand heating up. One account, @AlvaApp, noted that the futures debut could pave the way for higher volatility and deeper liquidity, with key opinion leaders touting XRP's breakout potential. But not everyone's feeling the hype. Posts like the one from @MacAttackXRP highlight a bearish tilt, pointing out that XRP's on-chain payment volume dropped 20% in the last 24 hours, with only 473 million XRP moved. That's a red flag for some, suggesting weaker network activity. On the flip side, whale activity is stealing the show. A post from Stephis Crypto dropped a bombshell. 640 million XRP was moved by whales in the past 24 hours, spread across multiple large transactions between unknown wallets. This could be over-the-counter deals or internal consolidations, not necessarily dumps, but it's got the community talking. Are these whales positioning for a big move or just reshuffling their stacks? The lack of a single massive sell-off is reassuring, but it's something to watch closely. Over on Reddit, sentiment is similarly divided. Some XRP fans in the r/Ripple and R cryptocurrency communities are hyped about the futures launch and the potential for institutional money to flow in. They see the $2.30 support level as a springboard for a push toward $3 or higher. Others are more cautious, pointing to the SEC's ETF delay and declining network activity as reasons to temper expectations. The word consolidation keeps popping up, with Redditors noting that XRP's current price action feels like it's coiling for a breakout, whether up or down. The community's emotional investment is clear. XRP holders are passionate, and they're hanging on every piece of news. Now let's get into the nitty-gritty. Short interest and options activity. Unfortunately, specific short interest data for XRP isn't widely available since it's a cryptocurrency, not a stock. However, we can look at derivatives markets for clues. The 34% jump in 24-hour derivatives volume suggests heightened speculative activity. Open interest, though, has remained relatively flat, which points to indecision among traders. This aligns with the mixed signals from technical indicators like the Relative Strength Index, which is hovering near the midline, neither overbought nor oversold. As for unusual options activity, there's no direct data on XRP options in the last 24 hours, but the spike in derivatives volume hints at big players making bets. If we see more volume surges or a shift in open interest, it could signal which way the smart money is leaning. Speaking of smart money, let's talk about analyst and institutional behavior. Analysts are keeping a close eye on XRP's technicals. A bearish head and shoulders pattern has formed, with some, like Ali Martinez, warning that losing the 230 support could send XRP tumbling toward $2. On the bullish side, others see the current consolidation as a setup for a breakout above 240 cents, potentially targeting $3 if momentum picks up. Institutional interest is undeniable, with the CME futures launch being a clear signal that big players are getting involved. We're also seeing whale accumulation. Wallets holding 10 million to 100 million XRP have scooped up 440 million tokens over the past month, a sign of long-term confidence. But there's a catch. Smaller whale cohorts holding 100,000 to 1 million XRP have been trimming their positions, possibly taking profits after last quarter's rally. It's a tug-of-war between the big fish and the smaller ones. So what does all this mean for XRP? Let's tie it together. The price is holding steady around 235, but the 1.4% dip and declining trading volume suggest caution in the short term. The CME futures launch is a massive win for Ripple's ecosystem, opening the door to institutional capital, but the SEC's ETF delay is keeping a lid on bullish momentum. Retail sentiment is split. Some see a breakout brewing, while others are worried about fading network activity. Whales are making big moves and derivatives volume is spiking, but the lack of clear direction in open interest tells us the market's at a crossroads. For you XRP holders out there, it's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day price swings, but let's zoom out. Ripple's fundamentals are stronger than ever. Partnerships with over 300 financial institutions, a $50 million SEC settlement, and now CME futures. These are building blocks for long-term growth. The $2.30 support level is critical. If it holds, we could see XRP test 240 or higher soon. If it breaks, $2 is the next line in the sand. Either way, the story here isn't about quick gains. It's about Ripple's growing role in the global financial system. Well, guys, that's all we have for you today. What are your thoughts on XRP? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. If you guys like this video, then be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Also, if you don't want to miss out on any new future videos, then be sure to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification under this video. so that you're notified the next time we upload a video on the latest XRP and cryptocurrency news. Until the next video comes out, you can watch our other videos about XRP or other cryptocurrencies. Thank you for watching, and we will see you again in the next video. Goodbye.